Welcome to Rising Together, Local Women Leading Differently, a podcast where we celebrate women, share resources, and tell the real stories of what it takes to lead and build differently. Here we believe visibility is power, collaboration is the antidote to competition, and vulnerability is the birthplace of trust. I'm Emma Malvani, a women's empowerment mentor, creating spaces for women to deepen their intuition, self-trust, and confidence in life and business. I'm honored to be your host and share these conversations with you. In this episode, I'm talking with Erin Attere about what it really means to live a radiant life. Erin is a coach who guides high-achieving, big-hearted women back to their radiant spark through soulful coaching, purpose-filled community, and transformational experiences that help them reclaim joy, presence, and themselves. We explore her journey from burnout and overachievement to a more present, purpose-filled way of living, and how small shifts like slowing down, reconnecting with joy, and aligning your time with your values can completely change your energy. Erin also shares how community, self-awareness, and fun can become powerful tools for creating a life that feels less rushed and more fulfilling. Erin is really an incredible and beautiful soul, and I can't wait for you to experience her energy and wisdom. Let's go. Hello. Well, thank you for joining me. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank you. I'm so excited for this conversation, Emma.
Yeah, me too, because immediately, and you can tell me if you felt it too, but I was instantly drawn to your vibe when we met at the Women's Entrepreneur Collective meeting at the library. Right away, there was like this energy that I was like, I need to talk more to this woman because there was definitely like a shared passion and philosophy. And then just how light and like fun and passion filled your energy was, that it was just immediately attractive.
Well,
Yeah.
100%. The feeling was absolutely mutual, honey. I think that there's just, you kind of know your soul family, I guess, when you see them. And so I just felt like you were such a warm woman. You can tell your passion is serving others and really just being present and having meaningful conversations. And so immediately I knew that we would be connected. So for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think what's so funny is whether intentionally or not, I feel like you are embodying this radiance that I've been hearing you speak so much about with like your group, the Radiant Life Collective. And then just even in your emails, how much you talk about creating this radiant life. Can you speak a little bit to what it means to you to live a radiant life?
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for that, Emma. It has been a journey, girl. So, yes, I feel like I embody that. And it did not happen overnight,
Mm.
if I'm real. Um,
Yeah.
Living a radiant life to me is different for everyone, I believe, right? And so, living into your radiance, I believe that we are all gifted with unique gifts and talents into this world. We have those things that we do that when we live into that, we just feel alive and we radiate this energy, this like kind of beauty and brilliance that inspires others and makes an impact in the world. And so, for me, a radiant life is one where I feel fully present. It's one where I have freedom to live in flow. And I don't really believe in work life balance. I have work life integration because I believe that when you do what you love, they kind of weave in together. And so I think that because I've been on this personal journey, everyone around me has benefited, my kids, my husband, right? The community that I'm building. And so truly, the Radiant Life Collective is kind of the opposite of how I feel like a lot of people live today, which is rushed, right? A lot of women were kind of living off of our to-do list, kind of checking the boxes, showing up for our roles and responsibilities. So many women are so capable, but they're not living fulfilled or into their purpose and their joy. And so, my passion and obsession is helping women to stop living lives that feel rushed and to truly create lives that feel radiant.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love all of that. I resonate so much with that presence.
Yeah.
How much depth and richness just being present can feel. And I'm very lucky now. I feel like I've been reflecting that earlier this year, I went through a very intense season that kind of led to some burnout.
Mhm.
And it was the greatest gift because then it was like I had no choice but to slow down and to get more present. And then this past month, I keep coming back to man, the presence that I feel that I am here right now. And to your point of, I love that reframe of work life integration.
Yeah.
That is kind of like the dance that I feel like is helping contribute to this feeling of radiance within my own life, that like there is this like really nice just kind of back and forth dance where the work is not separate from the life and the life is not separate from the work, really, that it is this like integration that is working for
Mhm.
my life. And so I just love that you're highlighting that. But then I also wanted to go back to, you said like it wasn't always this way. Like, can you
Mhm.
speak a little bit to kind of the journey that you went on to get to this place? Because I know we all have kind of that nonlinear, maybe sometimes uncomfortable, catalyzing experience that leads us to kind of these breakthrough times.
Absolutely, Emma. And I know now that life always happens for you. And so it's like Steve Jobs says, right? You can't
Mm.
all connect the dots looking, ahead, but you can see that looking backward. And so my story is that, recovering perfectionist, people pleaser here. So I lived most of my life according to shoulds, right? How I thought I should be living.
Mm.
I came from humble beginnings. And so for me, one of the most important things I thought I should be striving for was the good job, right? So I worked really hard, got good grades, first to go to college, landed an amazing career, and made a really nice six figures, Emma. But I was, at the same time, while I'm so grateful for that experience and I learned so much that serves me today, I was living out of alignment. And I didn't really realize that until, thank God, a global pandemic hit, right? Kind of shook us all to our core and made me realize that I was missing my kids' birthdays due to business travel. And while it was so nice to
Mm.
make a really nice six figures climbing the ladder, I realized that my calendar wasn't matching up with my core values and who I was and what I wanted to live into. And thank goodness there was a meeting I remember very vividly. We were debating for 30 minutes the use of the word the versus a in a product promo piece for a new product launch. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm missing my kids' birthdays to debate articles. Like this cannot be all there is in life.
Oh my God.
So yeah, girl, it was brutal. And that mom guilt, right? I mean, it really just kind of, and I was in burnout. I think a lot of women don't realize how much we're holding until we pause. And so 6 years ago, I took what I see now as a very courageous step to walk away from those golden handcuffs. And I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always wanted a consistent career where, you make decent income and can vacation once a year and whatever. And now I've realized there's so much freedom in entrepreneurship. I started helping a friend of mine, I think Ange Melfi, build Threads Worldwide, which was a fair trade company. And through that, I was able to see the world and I was able to make an impact for women who were in the sex trade or not able to, they had to choose which kid eats for the day. And so being able to see what happens when women get intentional. My team grew to half the company. It was a direct sales, fair trade company. And I realized I didn't love just coaching women on how to sell earrings and purses. I wanted to coach women. I was coaching women on their lives. And I realized a lot of women here in the States were feeling unfulfilled and they had so much more potential, but they weren't seeing it, right? We're taught to play small. And so in the past 18 months, I spun off and did my own thing where I was doing my own retreats, taking people to places like Guatemala and also local places, and then building the collective and doing one-on-one coaching and speaking. And now I can't believe I get to do this work. I absolutely love it, and I'm so grateful for it.
Oh my gosh. I love that. And I love the idea that when we get out and get a new perspective, we can see what's possible then for ourselves. And especially in the United States, I feel like it's so easy to get bogged down in the culture of like productivity
Mhm.
and driving and, thinking that there's only this like one box that we kind of have to be in. And it's not until you have some catalyzing moment like a pandemic or global travel or something that opens your eyes that says, "Oh my gosh, I don't have to be in this box anymore." Like, and every
Yes.
woman that I speak to recently, especially because I feel like I'm just surrounded by women who are on this like cracking open journey of realizing they don't have to be in these boxes. It's a very similar narrative
Yeah.
of having the experience of like, okay, I did the things I was supposed to, and I showed up and I, checked off the boxes and then realized like, oh, but I'm not happy living
Yeah.
this way. And the gap that I see so often is okay, identifying that they don't want to live that way, but then like, what do you do instead?
Yeah.
And feeling into and coming back to, what your heart says about, well, what are the elements of your radiant life, that align with, as you said, your values, and then reflecting that in very tactical ways of like, does your calendar reflect? Is your time spent reflecting those values? That's so important. And I feel like such a way that we overcomplicate this
Mhm.
journey too, of like coming back, that it's actually very simple. Are you spending your time in the ways that actually reflect your values? Like it's much, or maybe I should get your take on it. Like I feel like that's actually a very simple
Yeah.
place to start. Do you
I mean,
feel like it's
that's
kind of a simple thing, or am I simplifying something that's maybe more complicated?
No, you are, honey. And that's what I love with women. The first thing I do in coaching and retreats and all that is we tap in and we build an awareness because women are actually closer to a radiant life than what they think they are, right? We're just so busy we don't realize it. It's like you had mentioned earlier, there are all these amazing things in your life you could appreciate, but you're not focusing there because a lot of reasons, culture, society, how we're trained, whatever, right? We focus on where we think we're failing or where we think we're behind or the sacrificial motherhood where we need to just give constantly and have no boundaries or have no voice or desires of our own without guilt. And so, yeah, I think that absolutely the place to start is just tapping in and connecting with ourselves. But I think that because of today's society is so much rush, a lot of women have um, just kind of become so far away from kind of hearing their own voice and kind of connecting with themselves that it just takes a little bit of guidance, a little bit of pause to really tune into that. I have women tell me all the time, especially when they've got little kids and busy careers and spouses, maybe caregiving for parents, et cetera, that they don't remember how to have fun anymore, right? They don't even know what they want. And so we start there of just what I call the radiance check in and really looking at all 8 areas of your life, right? Things like your career, your relationships, your home, right? How are those areas feeling within your body, right? Like, well, how does that feel to you? Because when women feel stuck or unfulfilled, sometimes they don't know where to begin. And just the pause and active reflection helps you kind of identify where to start, and also to identify what's winning. There's so much areas of brightness that we don't even see because we're focusing on where we feel like things aren't as far as long as we think that we should be.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So, have you encountered many women who maybe feel some resistance to that slowing down and realigning
Daily.
concept?
Daily. And in busy seasons, sometimes I have it. Like, so I have to remind myself it's a
Mm,
practice, truly, Emma. It's a practice
yeah.
to remind ourselves that, like, because it is so countercultural, that rest can truly sometimes be the most productive thing that you do in a day, right? Because we need that
Mhm.
reset. But we've bought into these myths of the 5 a.m. club and time hacking and all these things where we just need to always be doing. And sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is just to be. And that is really hard for a lot of women.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And it's reminding me of a mantra that I've had this month of I speed up by slowing down.
Hmm.
That like the times that I slow down, come back to myself, like nourish my nervous system, like it's such a, and I'm trying not to lean into the language of like productivity culture, but it makes the times that then I do sit down to work or to do something that's productive so much more effective, that it's like I'm doing so much more, or how do I want to say, like magnifying my results in that time frame
Yeah.
so much more than if I were like just constantly pushing and, pushing through. Like that's just, we know, a recipe for burnout, but I don't think we talk enough about what can happen when you slow down, that it's actually a very, to your point, a very productive thing for us, that it sounds so counterintuitive, but is really, I think, such an untapped asset that we have.
100%, Emma. I talk with women all the time who tell me they don't have time, right? Because most of us think it's a time problem. We think if we had more time, we'd be able to do all the things in life, right? And I think that's a myth as well. But I just had a coaching call yesterday with a woman who said, she believed for the longest time she didn't have any time for a 10-minute walk, right? For her, walking is like really just kind of grounding. She loves hearing the birds and feeling the sunshine on her face. Well, actually, she wasn't that present to it before. She knew that she enjoyed a walk, right? A 10-minute walk. And I encouraged her. I said, no, you're getting this on your calendar, girl. Like, this is going to happen. And that's the goal of a coach, right? Like, gentle accountability. Like, we're going to show up for this, right? And I was so grateful because our follow up call yesterday was one where she shared, oh my gosh, Erin, that 10 minutes was a game changer. She said, I thought I didn't have time to do it. But the truth is, you don't have time not to do it, right? Because when she was out there and when she felt that sunshine on her face and heard the birds chirp and looked at the grass and was just like calmed down, a solution came to her like that for this business problem that she'd been trying to figure out. And so often we're taught the solution is to push, push, push more, right? But that can actually put us in a primal state. And our brains are these like goal achieving machines. And so if we feel like, oh, we gotta hustle, we gotta figure this out, we put all this pressure on ourselves versus relaxing into, okay, maybe the solution will come when I'm in ease and like a powerful mindful state, right? And that's exactly what she found. And now she made it a habit. Now this is like her, it literally can be 10 minutes a day, Emma. It doesn't have to be this rehaul. It can truly be 10 minutes each day for just you. And you're worth it, right? Even if a solution doesn't come through, like just the fact that women to know that you are worth 10 minutes of your day.
Mhm. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, and like also reorienting our center to like, not only are we completely worthy, but like it's vital to our survival and well-being, but also like to those around us, that like women hold so much and are the center of so much, that if we're not caring for ourselves and taking that time to acknowledge like our sovereign being, like everything around us is going to reflect that. Like the inner or the outer reflects the inner, right? And so, like, if you think you don't have time, even 10 minutes, to go do something that plugs you back into a source of power that we're not used to acknowledging as like a source of energy, you need that even more. Like it's that signal of like, well, if I don't have time, like, well, then you need this even more. Like you need to
100%. 100%, Emma.
reorient kind of that, well, and that whole conversation around like energy too, that like we're so used to, oh, if I'm tired, well, that means I just need to like do more, hustle more, have more coffee, do more like artificially stimulating things. But I'm like, oh, well, maybe actually just like sitting back or taking a walk and connecting to nature. I have found nature to be like my life source this season. I think it is all the time, but right now I'm in a very intentional connection with it and just realizing how easy it is to be energized by these things that I'm just very naturally connected to. And so connecting to those things that we lost for a while, I think. And that was a theme that I love that you were sharing about for a little while, was like play and
Mhm.
fun and like joy and being childlike and reconnecting to those things that activate that center of you is so energizing and so crucial to, I think, just like our overall well-being and satisfaction of life.
Absolutely. And I think you nailed it, right? So oftentimes as women, we think we need to earn our fun, right? We think we need to, oh, we'll do that when we get through our to-do list, or, like after everyone else is taken care of, we've done all the things, then we're able to enjoy. But that was the focus actually of the first month of the Radiant Life Collective, was reframing fun as fuel. Because while we thought this is something we had to wait for or put off until one day, we flipped the script on that and actually did some teachings around like, actually that is like how you have the energy for all the people and all of the things that you want to show up for, right? So it's not this like the energy you give at the end of the day after you're exhausted to your family, but instead you show up more powerfully when you do the thing that is fun to you, whether that's dancing or singing or reading a book or hanging out with friends, right? Like whatever the thing is, you actually fill your cup. And I think women know this on a superficial level, but like until you become very intentional and aware and appreciate that and see the benefits of that, then it's hard to actually make it happen in your life, right? And I literally tell the women in our community, like, okay, we're going to schedule that. Like sometimes the homework will be have fun this week, right? Identify one thing. What are you feeling called to do? And sometimes when women struggle, I encourage them to think of what did you used to enjoy? What are some things that, because kids, you look around, kids know how to fun. My kids can have fun at a grocery store in the parking lot, right? Like they'll be walking on the lines and making up games. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, can we get these groceries? But then I've shifted to learn from them because children have such joy so easily. And so if we can teach ourselves to reconnect with that, how do we kind of reignite that spark? It's just by revisiting some of those things that bring us these little micro moments of joy, right? How do we incorporate that daily? Not hope that, we have a good day, right? Not let the external circumstances impact our joy, but instead decide, make a powerful decision every day. I'm going to experience joy, even if it's a micro moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's so important, that experience of it. Because
Mhm.
as you said, like it's so easy to like read the books or hear the advice and like know that you should do that. But until
Mhm.
you actually put it into action and have that experience of like, oh, this is actually what's possible, like until that's rooted in your felt experience and your body, like I don't think you can actually like get it until, or get
Yes.
like the significance of it and really like believe it until
Yeah.
you experience it. And so that's what I love that you're inviting these women to do. But then also with this whole space, just having that space of the Radiant Life Collective
Mhm.
to, as you said, like have that gentle accountability and also that like touch point to like reconnect with yourself, have a community space where you know other people are doing it and kind of reconnect to those things that we may cognitively know, but like actually need to put into practice in order to receive the benefits of.
Absolutely. I've had the women inside the community are just like the best humans, right? Heart center, just passionate, fun, and like go-getters, right? Like these are women who just want happiness in all areas of their life, right? Success and happiness. And what I love about this community is the things that they say, Emma, are just like, oh, it's my weekly exhale. So many times we're just like holding our breath and going through all the things. And this is a space where they come to just breathe, right? To rest a minute. And other women have said things just like, the benefit of like just feeling like you're seen and you're heard. Like sometimes the itty bitty shitty committee in our head can tell us all these things that are negative about, what we're not doing right, or why haven't we figured this out yet? Or why am I the only one struggling with this? And this community is a safe space where women actually see they're not the only ones struggling with whatever the challenge is, right? That there are other women along this way. And then just to be cheered on, sometimes as women, we do a lot, but we don't realize how much we are holding and how much we're carrying. And so there is just like constant cheerleading that happens, like, great job. And so women start to see their own wins. And I talked to a woman earlier who was like, oh my gosh, Erin, I'm excited to come and share with the ladies like what I'm doing. And so it's just a really great space to be able to. I believe that community is the answer to everything. And so just to know that you have a place where you're not alone, you can feel seen, heard, supported, celebrated, and gently accountable too, right? Because when we make these dreams and visions for ourselves, we want to make sure that we're making progress on that too.
Mm. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love
One thing,
that.
Emma,
I
that you
love it.
mentioned,
And yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I just wanted to circle back because I think it was so important that you talked about how when you start to live a radiant life, that impacts others. And I just want to give a quick example of like what that means and what that's looks like. So back in my corporate life, I think my kids were, well taken care of, right? I did the best I could as a mom and all of those things. But I think things totally changed when we as women, we get to know ourselves better and we get clear on who we are and what we want in life. And so now because of that, because I've done the inner work, my kids to get to benefit from that. And so there's this legacy impact. My oldest has been to Guatemala twice and done dream circles and traveled internationally and learned all these things. And we started a kindness club at their school because I had the confidence. You saw a problem, you figure out, okay, how can we be part of the solution? And you teach them, okay, what are the action steps to go from a dream or a vision into reality? And so my kids, because I've done the work, are more confident and are bigger dreamers and are taking action steps now to create those lives. And so I just encourage women to love yourself like you love your kids, because once you do that, like everyone benefits, everyone is impacted in beautiful ways that you can't even begin to imagine, you know.
Yes, 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 yes. Thank you for saying that because I feel like you're also giving voice to something that I was noticing recently that I've been having just, I, okay, the parenthood journey is like not a linear thing, right? It's a little bit of
No.
like a roller coaster.
Most of life
So
isn't,
I've
yeah.
been in this, yes. So I've been in this phase lately though where I'm just like, almost like mesmerized by my kids sometimes. Like I'm just like watching them and I'm so like I don't know, just like connected and happy and like just enjoying my kids and this journey. And I was feeling recently this feeling of like, oh, all that inner work that I did that for like years was so like uncomfortable. And I might have been even snippier with them, more irritable. There was mom rage for a while, like mom guilt, like all these things. And now I kind of feel like, oh, is this what it's like to be on the other side, realizing, oh, here are the benefits of all of that work. And like, here are my kids now, like, my older two girls are 9 and 7.5, and just like starting to see like how they interact, the people they're becoming. Sometimes like the things that they mirror back to me that I'm like, oh my God, they've been like paying attention. They're like watching, they're listening. It's like starting to land. And I'm having these like really proud moments of like feeling so grateful. I mean, obviously so proud of my kids, but like also kind of looking at myself and being like, wow, I'm really glad that I did all this work because like look at how it's impacting them. And some of these like cycles that I'm like, oh, they're not inheriting that. Like they're getting a different message and they are on a different trajectory because of the work that I've done to love myself, to accept myself, to be a different kind of mother than what the world told me I had to be. Like there's no self-sacrifice here. Like I'm all in on myself that like yeah, sorry. I just wanted to acknowledge like I think that's such a beautiful point that it changes the inheritance that we're giving to our kids and I love it.
100%, Emma. And that is actually
Mm,
going to bring you guys closer together, right? And so I love that you
yeah.
acknowledge that you're fully present with it, because it can be hard, right? Being present, we talk about it as this like beautiful, but sometimes it's hard when you got work to do, you got things to do, right? And it's
Yeah.
completely worth it when you do. And like you said, kind of this relationship with your kids, you set them up to break some of these cycles. And also because you're doing the, the personal growth and development, like you said, it's never easy, right? Growth never feels good, right? It's never easy to move through some of these things, but I believe our kids are our greatest teachers. And so when they're having those difficult moments or difficult struggles or things that you're working through because of your growth, not only are you impacting how they're going to continue to perceive the world and experience the world, but also you're going to have a new curiosity around like, oh, why does this activate me so much? What's happening here? And kind of dig deeper into that. And you guys can kind of connect over some of those things. And parenthood isn't one-sided, right? It's we're learning from them, and they're learning from us too. And I think that that will bring you guys together in really beautiful beautiful ways.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what a beautiful point. I love that. And I wish we had time to dig in deeper to so many of these topics, but I feel like you're just going to have to come back on again. And we are going to keep going with all of this. I love
I
it.
would love to. I would love to.
Yeah. So we have mentioned many times, obviously, the Radiant Life Collective, but can you tell people where they can learn more about it if they're intrigued?
Absolutely. Yes. The Radiant Life Collective, you can go to erinattere.com and learn all about coaching, community, speaking, all that good stuff, upcoming events. We do some local and also some further away stuff. But the Radiant Life Collective, honestly, Emma, I only create things that I feel like I wish existed in the world. So
Mm,
this is a space. I went through a time during COVID where I was like, gosh, craving something deeper than superficial kind of like friendships and stuff, right? Like I wanted to be connected with other women who wanted more for their lives and more for themselves, and not just talking about things, but talking about real like life and what we want to accomplish and create and achieve. And so this is a space where women keep it real, right? We have real women with real conversations, and in this space together, we rotate topics every month. So I mentioned we've done fun, we've done home, we've done our health, right? And each month we focus on one area because I believe change happens over time, right? And so we come together on those things and we build intention, like we talked about. We pause, we figure out, how is this area of life feeling? What's working well? What's not? Where do we want to focus? And we share knowledge. There's so much women wisdom, right? Like, what's working for you? What can we do? We have guest speakers, we have in-person meetups, right? To get together. And so it's just a really cool community of women who are very aligned in wanting to feel alive in their lives and wanting to slow down and be fully present and create lives that feel radiant, not rushed. And so, yeah, would love to have anyone who feels called to be in a group like that join us. We meet once a week via Zoom, and there's lots of resources in the platform and ways to have conversations. Lots of great friendships have developed already out of that. And yeah, our table is always open for more.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that you created that. And I can feel that energy from you of just how connected you are to it and creating something that you wish existed. I feel like that's where all the best creations come from.
Yes.
So I just love that you're putting that out into the world.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, and you too, Emma. I love all the things that
Yeah.
you're creating, and I'm excited for our fall time event for Impact too. And yeah, I'm so excited.
Yeah, thank you. Well, so is your website the best place for people to find you, or is there anywhere else that
Yes.
you would like to direct people?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me on LinkedIn, Erin Attere, but really the website's the best place to go, and you'll find some cool stuff on there. There's a quiz you can check in, see how your radiance is going, and some other resources there too. But yeah, that's the best place for the Radiant Life Collective, and also for coaching. Any women who feel like sometimes community can feel intimidating for some people who are a little bit more introverted, and so there's also opportunities to just work one-on-one too to move away from that burnout and overwhelm into a life that actually feels good, that you're excited to wake up to each day.
Gosh, I love that. What a perfect place to end. Well, thank you so much for spending this time with me. I have loved being able to share your passion, your energy, your beautiful insights with everybody. And I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Thank you. You as well, Emma. I hope that this inspired some of your listeners to stop waiting for someday, really to just start taking small aligned actions right now to create a life that they love.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of Rising Together, Local Women Leading Differently. If you enjoyed this episode, I invite you to sign up for my Love Notes newsletter, which is your weekly surge of empowerment and inspiration with a heavy dose of realness from my own journey of rising. You can sign up at emmamulvaney.com/newsletter. Until next time, remember, we all rise higher when we're rising together.